What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Heated Shenanigans Podcast. I am your host, Scott, with the only podcast bringing you the heat each and every single week. And as you can see right now, my guest today is co-host of one of the hottest podcasts going today, DDPSnakePit, the one and only Hall of Famer, Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake, welcome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You're most welcome. First and foremost, sir, how's the health doing? How have you been?
The health's getting better every day. For those that don't know, I'm unfortunate that my mom, God bless her, she's gone, but she left me a little something behind. She gave me 2 lung diseases, just part of the hereditary genetic thing that I get, and there's no cure for them. So, along with emphysema and COPD, because I smoked a pack and a half of cigarettes a day for 50 years, I seem to have a lung problem. But there's this new thing out, man, O2 oxygen. I've got the shirt on now. You can't see it. Now you can. That's the thing. I bought the contraption, and I do it 2 or 3 times a day, and it's making my lungs much stronger. I can't believe how fast it's working. I was real shy about it. Anytime you have to lay down $7,000 to try something, you're kind of skeptical and think, oh boy, did I just pull the stupidest stunt ever? And but no, it works. And they're using it primarily on ball players that are having concussion problems, and because this forces the oxygen into your brain, and by starving myself from oxygen, it makes my body kick into high gear and fight for it. And that's the bad thing about being hooked up on one of these things, is your body gets lazy because it's always there. Your body doesn't have to struggle to get what it needs. It's just there. And by using it, it's getting much better. And, lost the picture.
I'm still here.
Now we got thank you from Norton. Okay. Another snafu, or in the high-tech world, they call a fuck-up by the computer.
Because you're jiggling. That's jiggling.
Okay. It's because I'm jiggling.
Oh, it's okay.
Anyway, we're getting there, man, and I'm really real happy about it. In fact, this is the first time today I put this on. And normally I have to have it on whenever I'm doing an interview or something, because that's when you're forcing sounds and noises and stuff out, and you're talking faster than you really want to, and your body's needing the oxygen. So that's it. Cut and dry. But it's not slowing my ass down.
Absolutely no. You're still killing it out there. You're still recording the podcast out there with DDP. And I definitely wanted to talk about DDP with you in particular. Your guys' chemistry on that show is out of this world. It's such an enjoyable podcast to watch and to listen to. I was always curious, over the course of both of your careers, what would a match or an angle have looked like between the two of you?
Oh, it would have been awesome, man. It would have been something along the lines of me and Steamboat, or me and Savage, or him and Savage, for that matter. We would have definitely went tooth and nail, and there'd been a few potatoes thrown just for good times. And I'm sure that there might have even been a hard way mixed in there somewhere, because he's a bull, man. Don't kid yourself. DDP was a bull back then, and he's still a bull. He's in incredible shape. I don't even pretend that I could stay on the same block with him right now. But back in the day, it would have been toe-to-toe, and it would have been a 40-minute match, because there would have been that much for us to get out, and it would have been real pleasurable.
I think it would have also been a really good storytelling. Both of your finishers could be hit out of anywhere.
Oh yeah.
and it's the DDT versus the Diamond Cutter, and just the chemistry. My goodness, you guys are so good together, and the psychology that you've always brought to every
Yeah.
match you've ever been in, it would have been out of this world.
It would have been. It would have been awesome, man. And it's a damn shame. You know, I was thinking earlier today. There are so many guys that I would have liked to have worked with. You know, one being Bray Wyatt. I actually challenged Bray Wyatt a couple of years ago at Mania to a strippers pole match, but he didn't have the balls to do it. You know, which is pretty funny because neither one of us would have been able to crawl up that pole.
I had at one point in life, I had dated a stripper, and she had a pole at the house, and those aren't as easy to operate as what they make it appear.
That's why they weigh 110 pounds, bro. You don't see no
The
400-pound stripper going up a pole.
I don't know. It might
wanna
depend
see
on the.
one.
Over the course of your career, Jake, what do you think has been the best story you have ever seen told in a professional wrestling ring from a psychology standpoint?
Oh, that's an easy one for me. Back in the day, in Louisiana, Mid-South Wrestling, JYD was getting hot. We were there in the territory, and they had another thing that was pretty hot at the time with Ken Mantell and Paul Orndorff. And the thing was, they were trying. Orndorff was going to put this gel on Mantell's head because Mantell had clipped some of his hair, and this was this hair remover. And he was going to put it Nair on Mantell's head, and that was going to be the end of the match. Well, the damn stuff disappeared, and nobody knew where it went. But come to find out, it hadn't disappeared. Orndorff still had it. And he supposedly gave it to the Freebirds, and they hit JYD in the eyes with it. And it blinded him. And they did one interview, and one interview only. They went to JY's house, and he's blinded. And Buck Robley, who is the guy that was booking and the one that came up with the idea, was interviewing JYD, and JY said, you know, I don't know if I'll ever wrestle again. It doesn't really matter to me. But I would like to play with my little girl. And he reached out, because his little girl was in the floor. He reached out to touch her. And, of course, she was over 3 foot to the right. And Buck Robley, instead of saying, no, she's over there, he just reached out and grabbed his hand and pulled it over to where she was at. And he did it slowly. And I watched people watch that. And they would start to cry from the point of him moving that hand over to that child, because they could identify with it. See, that's why the Rick Rude thing worked so well for me, was everybody in the audience could identify with it. You don't put your hand on another man's wife. You just don't do that. Every male knows what that means. So it was easy. And you know, wrestling is simple. It's the good versus evil. It's been that way since the beginning of time. With the Romans and some dude named Jesus. Oh, that's Jesus, I'm sorry. And who's the bad guy here? Well, Jesus hadn't got shit to fight with. He's either real dumb or he's the good guy, you know. And later on, of course, he had a couple of good gimmicks. He could part water, and, you know, he could do some cool shit. But it's always been simple. And today, I think that we try to make these, we call them angles, and storylines so deep that people can't keep hold of it. That, and it's not going to something that's in people's heartstrings. You know, heartstrings are the thing, man. If you get into the heart, you've got it. And thank God these kids today don't have it, but I've got it. You know, the whole time I wrestled, I wrestled with my heart, and I connected with the fans by the heart. Oh, hold on. I'm so sorry. When you know, it's spam too. Ain't that some shit? Let me just turn this off. Oh, come on. There
Wasn't expecting the theme music to hit during this.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, that's a rib. Somebody put that on there to fuck with me, man. Isn't that some shit? But anyway, you know, it's like movies today. Movies today, they visually excite you. Okay? And that's what the matches today are doing. They visually excite you. They connect with you visually. The only thing about a visual high is it only lasts for a split second. And then your mind wants more. And now you see these guys out there flying from here to there to here to there. Well, that's the only way they can do it, because that's the only way they can stay connected. Because that's what they brought to the table. Jake Roberts and the old guys, we connected with you emotionally. Through the heart. Not the visual bullshit. Because we understood that if I can ever get you connected to my heart and feeling what I feel, and you feel that love between us, it never dies. It never dies. And I can prove that because today Jake Roberts has not been in the WWF ring since 1996. And my wrestling figure is still one of their top sellers. And they put out like 4 a year, you know. Nobody else gets 4 of those a year. And I've been getting them 4 a year for the last 15 years. Because people still believe in Jake Roberts. And that's the good thing about being connected with the heart. Because you never are forgotten. You're loved. If you love somebody, they got you by the short hairs, man. You know, you'll do anything for them. You'll buy anything from them. You know, and I'm so grateful because, you know, at the age of 67, man, I'm busier than I want to be. I'm making more money than I ever have. You know, even during the heyday, those numbers are shit now for me. I'm beating that. And
Pocket change.
you know, it's a joke, man. I can't believe it. I mean, I go to these Comic-Cons and stuff, and these signings, and, you know, the money just being thrown at you. And God bless the fans, man. Wrestling fans are the best, no doubt about it. I've learned so much about wrestling fans in the past 10 years, man. It just blows me away how much love they have for me. And
At I would say at these signings, what's the strangest thing you've been asked to sign?
oh God, don't even go there. Well, it was a body part.
What?
It wasn't a breast.
Oh,
It was a lot lower. A woman wanted me to sign down there, and I denied. I denied. You know, I couldn't do it.
how do you ask someone that question?
Oh, are you kidding me? Wrestling fans have no shame, man. You know, I've signed a lot of people's arms that the next time I see them, they have it tattooed on there. So here's what I've started doing. When somebody tells me they're going to have it tattooed, I write real fucking big, man. You know? So yeah, Jake goes all the way down their arm.
Turned it into a sleeve.
It's going to be painful.
Also, one thing that I wanted to bring up and discuss with you, in the late '90s, the Ministry of Darkness was going on, and there was a rumor at one point. I kind of wanted to get this cleared up that you were supposed to be the higher power instead of Vince. Is there any truth to that?
No, none at all. I wish there had been, you know.
Well, I said that would have been a hell of a way to tie in because of Austin 316 getting the launch from you,
Yeah.
and then you come back to.
Yeah, it would have been good. It'd have been great. But all they wanted to do is steal what they could from that idea. You know, they wanted the rub. And that's happened a lot. That's happened a lot.
What would you say is one lesson you've learned over the course of your career in professional wrestling that you didn't expect to learn? And how did it change you after you learned that lesson?
Well, oh boy. Before I ever got into wrestling, or just as I got into wrestling, my father, a piece of shit, he told me, he said, I'm going to tell you one thing about what you're trying to do. He said, you can make money or you can be one of the boys. Okay? Now, me starving for affection, starving for that father figure in my life, starving for people to like me, I've been over backwards to make friends in the locker room. I'd do anything for the guys. And I was that way through my whole career. You know, if there was only one first class seat left, I'd give it up to somebody. I wouldn't take it myself. I wasn't selfish. And I did not finally figure that out until I got out of wrestling. And bottom line is, if you're going to make money in wrestling, you got to be a little selfish. And you got to be willing to do things that you wouldn't normally do as a human being. As far as your honesty is concerned, you know, there's a line that says, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And it's so true. When I was in the WWF, Vince would see me at television. He'd say, why don't you come to the office next week? Well, Vince, I'm off next week. Yeah, well, come on up to the office, sit down, and let's talk. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? I got 3 days off in the last 75 days. And you want me to spend them at the office with you? Why don't you just give me a lawyer? Because I'm going to need it. My wife will divorce my dumb ass. And I told him, I said, if you need an idea, just call me, man. I'll come up with something like that. And that's a gift I have, is to come up with ideas just that quick. And, oh, no, you need to come to the office so we can throw some stuff around. And I'm like, you know, dude, it ain't fucking happening. Well, I didn't learn till after I was out of there that both Randy and Hulk had condos in Connecticut besides their homes. That's the reason they were always on top. Because every time they had days off, they were in Connecticut banging on Vince's door and talking to him, getting him turned around in their way of thinking, and pulling him that way, and demanding more, and demanding more, and demanding more. Nobody knew it. They didn't go around telling everybody they was doing this shit, you know. And the squeaky wheel gets the grease, you know, and the money, by the way.
Damn, that's a hell of a secret for those two to keep over the years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy.
So, another question for you, Jake. Over the course of your career, who's been the best work ethic you've been in the ring with, and who's been the worst work ethic?
Oh boy. Probably Steamboat. The best.
As the best?
Yeah. And the worst would have been Vader. Vader was very dangerous. I wrestled him twice, and both times he broke my sternum. Just crushing me. And his excuse was, Jake, you don't understand, man. When I come out of that locker room, man, I'm fired up. Well, the people are so into you, man. They take it to a whole other level, and I'm unable to control my fucking self, man. I just have to explode on you. Fuck you, dude. You broke my sternum.
Twice.
It takes like 5 months to heal from that, and it's one of the most painful injuries you can have. Because if you sneeze, brother, you're ready to cut your ball sack off, just to feel a different pain, It sucked, man.
Shit, I can only imagine. My God, your sternum twice, and
Yeah.
I'm pumped up. That was the reason you got. I'm pumped up.
Yeah. That's nearly as good as the Kerry Von Erich reason that he told Dick Murdoch back in the day in St. Louis. They were wrestling, and Kerry drop kicked Murdoch so hard that he broke his false teeth. And Murdoch asked him, what happened, man? And Kerry says, Dickie, I was up in the air for the drop kick, and the air conditioner system came on and blew me right into you.
What?
Wow. Yeah. What do you say to that shit? Fuck off. Yeah.
What would you say is the best rib you've ever performed on someone?
Oh, man. There's too many of those, too. Oh, my God. We used to do a thing, man. It was pretty involved. You had to have a couple people helping you. It's called a Mabel. And you got to have a girl that's smoking hot. Then you got to have a guy that is the mark that you want, and he's got to be young, dumb, and full of cum, and he's going to screw anything, And regardless that she's married, and she's married to a policeman, by the way, so my God, don't get caught. And what you do is you tell the guy 2 or 3 times, dude, don't do it, man. That motherfucker will shoot you. Oh, man, she fucking wants me. She's playing him up. And she'll grab his dick, get to show and rub it a couple of times. Just driving him crazy, man. He's got to have it. And so finally, he's desperate. I'm going to fuck her, man. I got to fuck her tonight, man. I'm fucking her. I don't give a shit. Okay, man. Then you say, tell you what I'll do. I don't want you to get caught. So let's go get a hotel room, and I'll stand outside and keep guard. Oh, you're a friend, man. You're a real friend. Oh, yeah, you're a real friend. So you let them go into the room, and you're waiting for the signal for the light switch to be pulled. That's the signal, because she's going to get naked first and lay on the bed, and then when he starts to get on top of her, she's going to say, no, we'll turn the light off. And he'll pull that switch. When he does that, that's my cue outside that I have to beat on the door and scream, let me in, man, let me in. This ain't no fucking game, man. Let me fucking in now. Dude, what the fuck? Let me fucking in, man. What does he do? He jumps out of bed and he lets me in. Of course, when he opens the door, there's a great big motherfucker that shoves me in on top of him. And when we turn around and look, he's got a pistol. You motherfucker, you gonna fuck my wife? Bitch, I'm gonna shoot you next. But I'm shooting this motherfucker first. So what do? I make a lunging dive at the guy, and I grab him, and I take him down. As I'm taking him down, though, his arm is still out there trying to shoot this guy. He runs for his fucking life. It's what you do. But he's buck-ass naked. And as soon as he gets out of sight from running, you both get up, get dressed, and you sit down and start playing cards. And when he comes back with the cops, because he's going to get the cops, the other guy, we're sitting there playing cards, and we're like, oh, we did what? Are you kidding me? Look, officer, that kid, he's been smoking some shit or something. I don't know, man. He's real fucked up. Y'all be doing him a favor if you just took him to jail for the night. Because we can't deal with him. So he goes to jail for the night. And you get to laugh your fucking ass off.
Oh, shit. That's good.
That's probably
that's...
the most vicious. You know, putting a snake on somebody or putting a snake in their suitcase, and then they open the suitcase and they fucking, run through a wall trying to get away. That's one thing, but this is another step up.
That's layered.
Yeah, that's layers, but the deeper you go, the better it is, man. The better it is. I had also heard. I got a scoot.
Yep, I had heard that you're actually working on a book.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can provide with the listeners about, like some details or anything?
Today, I think I came up with the name. And I think I'm going to call it Fuck You, Bill Watts. Yes. I'm leaning that way. I will tell you this about it. Right now it's over 600 pages. And I still got another 200 to go probably. It's in depth. It's not your typical wrestling book. Every fucking word in it is the truth. You guys are going to be able to see the Jake the Snake story on television real soon. They're doing those heroes, the stars of wrestling segments now. They've done with Undertaker. They've done one with, Shawn and Brett. Well, they've got one on me, but mine is real serious. Because what I went through as a kid and the fact that I'm the one telling the truth. All these other guys, they seem to have a perfect fucking life, man. I just don't know how they did it. No, they're just great fucking liars. So keep your eyes open for that, too.
Excellent. Well, Jake, before we go here, I definitely want to thank you for your time. It's been a remarkable time with you. I appreciate everything. And before we go, I just want to say thank you guys to the listeners out there. Also, make sure to check out DDP Snake Pit on YouTube and wherever else you enjoy your podcasting at. It is a great, great experience. Highly recommend it. And it's everywhere. So you have no excuse not to go check it out, guys.
I appreciate it, guys. Take care of yourself. Good night.